Now let's take reactions to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 10-day visit to Europe with stops in both France and the United Kingdom. President's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, made the announcement in a post on X saying that the president departed Abuja on September 4th to commence a working vacation in Europe as part of his 2025 annual leave. He added that after the trip, the president will return to the country. The president was accompanied to the airport in Abuja by a delegation that included the governors of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, the secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, and ministers. His latest trip comes just 2 weeks after his return from Japan and Brazil for official state visits, while also making stops in Dubai and Los Angeles during that tour. Well, let's take some reactions. I'd like to pull this reaction, and this person detailed. It was a lengthy tweet, and I'll start. I just had to take some excerpts from that tweet. And he wrote, he was responding to Ononuga's post on X. He wrote, Mr. Ononuga, thank you for the update that our president is jetting off again for accountability. Nigerians deserve clarity that matches the office you speak for. First, your statement is vague. What exactly will the president do in France and the United Kingdom during this 10-day vacation? Please publish a basic itinerary with objectives, name counterparts, and expected deliverables. That is standard practice when presidential travel is framed as working time. It also helps the public track outcomes, as seen when Paris visits produced specific agreements last year. Second, context matters. The president has traveled to France frequently since 29 May 2023. By 12 April 2025, credible reporting had already counted at least 8 separate visits, totaling no fewer than 59 days in France. There have been further European trips since then. Please confirm the updated count. Third, the president has also visited the United Kingdom several times in office. The record shows a private stop in London in June 2023, a Buckingham Palace meeting in September 2024, a 2-week leave in October 2024, which included onward travel to Paris. Then meetings in London in April 2025 before returning to Abuja. Please give the official tally to date. Fourthly, there are persistent rumors that the president uses France and the UK for medical attention. Your office has repeatedly denied this. ICIR and other outlets have reported concerns which you and your colleagues dismissed as baseless. Given the public interest, it would be helpful to address this issue transparently rather than simply denying it. A clear medical travel policy for the presidency would settle speculation. Well, the ex-user went on to talk about Section 145 of the Constitution, which requires the president to enable the vice president act on his behalf when on vacation. Finally, he wrote, Nigeria is not a private enterprise. The president holds authority in trust. Transparency is the price of that trust. If this is a working vacation, show the work and the outcomes. If it is personal, follow the Constitution and let the vice president act. Anything less weakens credibility and fuels the very rumors your office says are false. Put the facts on the record and explain plainly why you cannot. Rufai, I saw you nodding your head a lot of,
yes,
I think that he was quite apt in,
in
all of the details that he posed.
In all of the details.
Really?
And that's the question. And see, Oji, that's why we keep saying it is sad for a country that wants to grow, that thinks about accountability, and we don't have the medical records of the president. Other countries, for God's sake, do show us the medical records of their president. Who was the African president that died recently, that told the people that he was going for a medical situation before he passed? I think it was President Gigomp of, Namibia. He was upfront with the people. So, if for anything,
yes,
and those that keep arguing that his medical records are private, please, with due respect, if President Tinubu wanted to keep anything about his life private, he shouldn't have run for president in the first place. As long as he's our president, we have a right to ask and inquire.
This is it.
This France, almost every time. France, UK, with taxpayers' money. This year, God knows how many times he's gone.
100% I agree with you.
And that's why when Ayo was talking, the president should, if it's local tourism, it's not tourism.
No, but the explanation was quite vague.
I'm going by what the statement. It's not tourism. That's why they always, it was when we said we must demand accountability, they now showed us a picture of President Tinubu meeting the king in London then. That's why they say that was the only thing he was doing and working. Yeah. We can't keep having this visit without even knowing what is going on there.
Transparency.
There's no big deal.
Yes, no big deal.
If there's a medical situation, release it. If there's a medical report, let us see it. If there's none, show us.
Everyday France.
And for that section 145, Ayo. Yeah. They will not respond to that because over the years they've already put that lacuna in. They will say if it's not up to 21 days threshold, then you don't need to hand over and all of that. That's the kind of. And you know why I'm saying this?
Yes, why?
President Buhari did the same. He left for months.
But President Buhari was 6 months at a time.
Which was quite a time.
And we keep
forgivable.
Really
at this point. Hold on. Let me take this tweet and I'll come to you. Another Twitter and X. I mean, because this story is quite viral. It's quite shocking at the point. At the same time, only because he just came back. Well, this person on X wrote, at a time when hunger, unemployment, insecurity, poor health care, fuel crisis and unbearable inflation are killing Nigerians daily, a president has no business running abroad for vacation. True leadership means staying home, facing the problems head on, and sharing in the suffering of the people you govern. Go ahead.
Let me even start from the beginning. Yes. Before he became president, the president had been going to France. So we already saw the writings on the wall, that when he does become president, he might very likely be going on these trips. Recall that before his inauguration as president in 2023, he was away in France for 34 days. In fact, what they said at the time was that he went to go and plan the transition, proper transition committee. And we say a lot of people going to France as the new capital of Nigeria because now they almost put Aso Rock extension in France at the time. So what we're seeing now is what we already had an indication of before he became president. And there were speculations even at that time on the status of his health and whether or not he should declare. And this is where citizenship, active citizenship comes into play. As to the people that we elect into office, to what extent do we demand of them in order for us to repose our trust in them to lead us as a people? Are we satisfied with not knowing their records, or do we make it a condition to the extent that we make it as part of a constitutional provision that anyone who wants to lead us as a nation must declare his health status? I say this because there's an implication for you as a taxpayer. Every time the president goes out of town, guess who's footing most of his bills? We, the Nigerian people. And so you who haven't had enough money or you don't have enough money to know where your next meal is coming from, have part of your Commonwealth being spent to maintain the health and lifestyle of a public official abroad. Beyond that, and I still maintain this, Rufai, that if on the surface of things, what Mr. Bayo Ononuga says he's going to do is annual vacation. And to be fair to him, he is entitled to annual vacation, and we cannot legislate as to where he chooses to go on annual vacation. We can raise questions around why the destination of France and the United Kingdom so frequently. But when it has to do with his vacation that is stipulated as part of his contract, he can go anywhere he wants to. But I did mention that as chief marketer of Nigeria, there are nice places in Nigeria that even for the optics, he can choose to go for 1 week, 5 days, and then spend the rest of abroad. Why can't he not go to, we were talking about Yankari Game Reserve. You know what happens? What happens is that it brings in revenue. Yeah. It means infrastructure development will be in those areas. If the president chooses to go to these places, he can visit the Kano Walls. He can go to Yankari Games Reserve. He can go to Indore Hills in Ondo State. He can come to Lagos here and go to Nike Art Gallery or go to the beach. There's so many beachfronts. But let me just warn Nigerians. He's going to United Nations General Assembly this month. So let me just prep you that he's going to be away again to the United States of America.
Just a minute, please, because we have to go. Yeah.
Talking about, the president has gone to France, has gone to UK. It's a frequency of it that people are concerned about. The last time he went to the same France and UK, he spent 19 days. He came back just before 2 days. Now they say he's going for 10 days. Now, Mr. Ononuga says he's going on a working leave. He didn't say he's going for medical reasons. So that medical reasons that people are talking about is speculative because that's not what he has said. However, transparency and accountability is important. I had commented on this morning. I only want to add a footnote. Now, I've seen a picture of when the president was leaving.
We have the video. I don't know why they are not playing the video.
Some governors went there to see him off. Now, some of those governors, I don't want to embarrass them.
Yes.
When he was returning a week ago from Brazil, they were at the airport to receive him.
Waving.
Look, people should call their governors to account. If they have no job in their states, they should stop going to
airports
airport to receive president.
Shake hands.
To see president off in an utter display of sycophancy. Don't they have jobs in their states? And some of them go to this Abuja just to go, goodbye, sir. Welcome, sir. What kind of governors are these?
All right. Well, all right, Dr. Abati, well said. We need transparency. Yes, that really is the sum up of this conversation.
In 2025, I hear the president has gone out 15 times. And it speaks volumes. I'm not saying the president doesn't have a right to go on his holidays. France and the UK, as usual. Some people are saying, oh, it might be medical related. The president has not said anything about medical. We have to state that. He's saying he's going on a 10-day working leave. But just recently, he was in St. Lucia. Just recently, he was in Japan. Just recently, he was in Brazil. All of this is at a great cost to taxpayers. Because, look at it. The president travels around a lot. Taxpayers have to pay for it. We incur the cost of the new jets. But next year, January, hope you know that there's going to be 5% tax on crude refined in this country. That might also jack up your pump price. Even the CNG that they said there was a subsidy on for some time, they said they've now removed subsidy on the CNG. The CNG was supposed to be that tool to cushion the effect of high price of petrol. CNG is now going for about 384 something for one SCM of CNG today. That's even if you get it to buy. So when you see the president flying around at the expense of taxpayers' money, the question you ask is, what does this government even do to make the people feel like they understand the pain we are going through at a point in time? To fly that jet, to buy aviation fuel, to service the jet while it's away, for parking fees, all those things are not cheap. And it's going to be gone again for 10 working days, which is 2 weeks. Some people are also going to make the argument, oh, it's not ceded power. Anyway, we've long passed that level because we know the 21-day lacuna definitely will always be there. And I say the 21-day lacuna deliberately because they will act as, oh, if it's not up to 21 days, there's no reason to cede power. But that's the way we roll in Nigeria. If you are at the top, you have a field day.
As for President Tinubu going on working leave, now in April 2025, President Tinubu traveled to the same France and UK for 19 days. Now they say he's going for another 10 days. Now he has just returned from a 12-day trip to Japan and Brazil. And in between, he stopped over in Dubai on his way to Japan. He stopped over in Los Angeles on his way to Brazil. However, a president is entitled to working leave. Okay? We cannot argue with that. But when he was leaving Brazil, I had jokingly written on the back page of this thing that I hope that the president will not stop over in France and in UK to say that he has some urgent business there. So it's just confirmed our suspicion that he has something that he goes to France to pick. He has something in UK that he goes to pick. But they say it's working leave. And Mr. Onanuga also says it is part of his annual leave. So as president, it's part of his prerogative to go on official visits, to go on state visit, to go on working leave, to go on official leave. We just hope that this will not be extended beyond the measure. And that the work that the president is doing there, it will be adequately reported to us for our assessment as major stakeholders.
You've watched the video, guys. You've seen that despite the hunger and poverty in Nigeria, our own leader have decided to be going on a trip from one country to another. And they say that it's health issue. But why? My question is, why can't they do the health checkup in Nigeria? It's because they don't have any good health sector in Nigeria, and they don't even care. Because it's also so shameful to hear that our former Nigeria president Buhari died in a clinic outside Nigeria. That means Nigeria don't have a good clinic that can help to treat these our leaders. Is because they don't care. Because if they have cared, all the money they've used for trips and everything, they can invest it in Nigeria health sector, and then do what? Make our Nigeria sector to have a very working facility that can take any care, attention to anybody in Nigeria, both our presidents, governors. But they all decided to be going with our public funds, spending money here and there, traveling here and there. It's not been long when he came back from one trip, now he's going to another trip. And the worst part is that governors went ahead to go and celebrate and waving farewell. So despite the hunger in Nigeria, all they are focused about is traveling from one country to another, whereas your country is shambling in poverty and hunger and insecurity. But they don't care because of what? They are in office, and they are even planning for the next election instead of working for the current tenure they have. They are working and planning for the next election. That's why P2B remains the best, because P2B always say that it's going to cut down the cost of governance, and they all know that if Obi should eventually win that election, that they themselves might be fired, because Obi might fire everybody in Nigeria politics today and bring in new people. So they don't want that to happen. That's why it's as if every governor is working for APC, every judiciary APC, INEC APC, all of them police APC, because they know that if Obi should enter that seat, that they are all going to lose their seats as becoming the Nigeria politician. So that's why they are fighting Obi so hard. But let me get your views in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. I'll be the guys in my next video.